Hi, I'm Dylan, and I'm a cinematographer and documentary filmmaker based out of LA. I've been a little bit MIA on this channel recently. I think I'd like to make more content on stuff that I like to watch or that I find interesting. So that's what this video is. What I'd like to do is continue to grow the channel and continue to practice beyond camera and things like that. The main idea of this type of video that I'm making right now is I would like to make commentary on short films. That's something I haven't really seen on the platform, so I thought that'd be kind of cool to analyze documentary short films, look at what makes them tick, what makes them so interesting and captivating within the copyright boundaries. Of course, I'd like to not get a strike or anything. I'm just reviewing, I'm critiquing, I'm looking at what makes them good, because I want to be a better filmmaker, and if I can help other people too, that'd be pretty sweet. So the first of these reviews, whatever we're gonna call them, I don't know yet, we'll figure it out, is I'd like to go through all my films, which might be kind of cringy, but I'd like to do it anyway. And you know, it's like, you know, I can't critique somebody else's work without first taking some critique, some review, some feedback on my own. So I'm gonna go through my films, analyze them, see what makes them, what I did good, what I did bad, what I could have done better, and go from there. It'll all lead up to my newest film, which I haven't released yet because it's in the film festival circuit, but I will do like a director's commentary sort of critique on that as well. So that'll be fun. So this first documentary, we'll just get into it, is called A Beautiful Place. I made it back in, or it says I released it back in 2019, which was some time ago. This was my final project in my film class. You can go back and watch my other video I have on why I think I failed when making this project, when in fact, spoiler alert, I didn't think that the film was a failure. I thought it was an assignment. Anyway, I made this film because I wanted to get into documentary filmmaking, which is something I was already interested in at the time. I already had a little bit of filmmaking chops to go out and film and to tell a story. So this is my first film that I was proud of that I made after the fact. And it's about my friend Braden, who enjoys camping. And that's all I'll say. And then we'll go into it and provide some analysis, some commentary while we watch it, and so on and so forth. As a preface, like, it probably helps to watch the documentary first. I'll put a link to it up there and you can check it out, and then you can come back and then you can watch this and be like, wow, that was cool. Now I'm going to watch the commentary. So I'm going to get into it. So beginning it with a chill little shot and establishing where we are.
I just don't know at this point. There will be times where someone will mention a place or something and I just suddenly remember, oh hey, I've been there.
Yeah, so right here, my style, what I like, what I was really into at the time too, was telling a story without like an interview, like a sit-down interview. I wasn't really into that. I was into telling a story without an interview. I wasn't really into have someone sit down, having someone say XYZ, and it just like, I like this raw, this like avant-garde, this like more intimate kind of feeling of like staying in that space of where we're filming, which is in this beautiful campground.
Pretty nice being able to have that problem, I guess. But it's not really that extravagant of trips. Usually it's just backpacking or camping. And
so I started out with just asking Braden general questions on
basically
you know, camping and where he's been and things like that. Getting nice little insert shots along the way.
21 years old.
And then I went with having him talk about camping a little bit, then put in an intro, then get into
traveling and camping mostly
the rest of the documentary.
8 years now, give or take.
This is one part like I wasn't really sure of to keep in or not. I thought it was funny while I was making the film, and it's like so random, but in terms of like an edit, like I wouldn't do this again. I wouldn't put that moment in. In fact, I even messaged Matt Diavella, who's a great filmmaker, YouTuber, and I just randomly DM'd him, was like, hey, here's my film. What do you think of it? He watched it, and which was awesome. And that was one of the critiques that he gave, was like that little moment was kind of random. And I was like, dang it, I knew it was, and I didn't listen to myself. But in my filmmaking class, people were laughing, so I was like, I guess I got a little comic relief there. But yeah, I wouldn't do that again. It was a little bit random. Typically, when I have things that go back to like your story, go back to your theme, you don't want to just put something random just because it's funny. It has to all kind of play a part. But I mean, art is subjective, so.
More of a way to take pictures. Me and my brother got into it about the same.
So we're getting into like a more heavier topic. Why did he get into camping? The music kind of comes in.
Taking photos of it. I clearly remember telling him that I don't even care about the landscape.
We're getting more intimate shots. Him just setting up his campground and stuff.
And I just enjoyed going out, and just being there was more important than taking.
The music was just some free music off of YouTube audio library or something, royalty free. I didn't even know about licensing music much at the time. So now this shot in particular was interesting. I thought it was really cool. And looking back, I still think it's cool, but it's like super ominous. It's like, I don't know, like it's really dark. I just missed the blue hour. So like there's no like light rays on here like there was in the shot just before. There was like these nice little light rays on there. I must have gotten this shot just a little bit after that. And it looks just like a little bit too ominous, a little too spooky. Like it looks good for like a horror film, especially like pushing in on that. It looks kind of spooky. Cool shot, but just missed that beautiful light.
We went up about 8 miles in. We called it a day there. I remember my pack was so heavy, but I got everything for $300 for that trip. I had won a photo contest, and I took all of the prizes.
So at this point, like when I was camping with them, I was only there for like a day. Like we got there pretty much at sunset and then left the next morning. So I just tried to get as much as I could in terms of like nice shots, and I would pull Braden aside every so often and be like, hey, I have this idea. Can I just do this? Have you do this real quick?
You can do any of this very cheaply, very affordably.
I just followed them, my friends, as they went to get wood. I got nice shots of Braden chopping up wood. Like these are all aspects of camping. So kind of important to get.
Didn't go the best. That's when I really started to cling on to camping and traveling more as
just following them and see like getting the sunset, the sun rays in there is always nice.
Struggled with depression for years. It's hard to find things.
Then Brandon gets into like more deeper concepts of
mentally and emotionally
depression.
Tried just about everything. I even went from drugs to racing cars. It's been a wild ride, but the one thing that I've always been able to do is just go somewhere. So
this is the part of the film where like a lot of people, I get like if you're just watching this, it's a bit confusing, and you're just watching someone talk about camping, and there's not much of a story there, I don't think. But all of a sudden he starts talking about how camping kind of helped him. It makes it more real, more relative, and more interesting as a character. We're like unfolding these layers as we're learning about his camping endeavors. I thought that was really important to get, and something that you should strive to get in like your documentaries. Unfold those layers, unpack who your character is, because then you're just left with someone kind of stagnant and not much dimension. I knew that going in though.
You essentially get to recreate yourself just for those moments. You get to be who you want to be, who you think you could be.
These parts were more bright. These are the next day, and kind of showcasing that idealistic person that Braden wishes he could be.
And it's not just an escape. It's a lot more than that. I don't need to go out to escape myself. I go out to expand myself. I got that nice shot of like going backwards in the frame, kind of like pushing backwards with the nice foliage and everything, expanding the frame. It looks like, at least as you play it back. So I thought that was an interesting way to do that, and that's something I found really like in the edit. So
that was kind of lucky, not gonna lie.
How many things I see, no matter how many experiences I have, it doesn't dwarf any of the little things. All these places nearby,
little things,
still great.
kind of
There's
on the nose
nothing better
representation.
than just getting in your car, driving an hour, having a good time with your friends, and being in a beautiful place.
Great last shot. I really like that last shot. Text is a little weird. I would have done that differently for sure. And I didn't like that. It's a film. It's not like it's too inside jokey for me to put like what I put here. It's kind of, I don't know. At the time, it was like I was just having fun, so I'm not gonna hate on that. But it is a film. Typically, you want to be more professional. You don't want to put inside joke type of stuff in your film. But cool little last shot I got there. I was on the first day and I just had like a slider, not an electronic one, just a basic slider. I just set it down in the woods and just pushed it and came out pretty nice, I think. So in terms of like, you know, final thoughts or critiques, I think it is like a great first doc, you know, in terms of like starting out and things like that. I think I was able to mimic a lot of the things that I saw and what other people did that I watched and put it in my own way, add my own flavor to it, I think, which is really special. And looking back on this project, I feel very nostalgic. I don't feel very like cringy or anything like that. Maybe just on a few things, but I think I did a good job on this and it shows. And, you know, I ended up winning a nice little award for it for my class, and I'm proud of that. But I don't think I'm like the best, you know, for making this film by no means. There's a lot I could have done better in that I've tried to do in my current projects. Some little things right off the bat, you know, I had a great little establishing shot. I think I don't know, the compression, I was shooting on a GH5. It looks kind of weird in this shot. I don't know what's going on, but I think I could have used different text, a little bit basic. The sound was good because I got like right exactly where I am right now in my garage. I just had a little audio recorder next to him, had him speak into it after we did this whole trip, and that's how I got really nice sound. And that's something that you can benefit from by shooting in this style, I think. Cool, a variety of shots to show emotion and stuff, like to show the aspects of camping, to show the ins and outs of, you know, how camping makes him feel. I think these are good representations, showing that light and dark side of, you know, his past and what he hopes in the future, and I don't know, things like that. You can kind of see that in the shots, I think, especially just the way I edited it. It would have been beneficial to get more, like, great documentary filmmakers, I think, are those who can get more moments, more like in the moment type of scenarios or scenes where you're there and you're not having them sit down and answer something or off of a script or anything like that. You're showing a shot of something that's happening in real time as you're shooting it, and it helps drive the story forward in some way. Would have been cool to do that with like natural shots of him camping, or maybe asking him questions while he's setting up his tent. That would have been cool. So something to take into account for things later on, and what I definitely try to do later on as well. Yeah, in terms of technique, I think I did a pretty good job. Cool camera work. Just needs a little bit of help in terms of like, you know, the story a little bit. I think it works, but I think I could have done a better job establishing the conflict a little bit sooner, maybe making things a little bit more interesting a little bit sooner. There's a ton of ways that somebody could have done this, or how I could have done this. But this works. It does the job. Proud of it. It was a tough one to make for sure, but I came out a better filmmaker. I want to try doing more videos like this, obviously. Like I said, I'll start with my other documentaries, and I'll move into other short films and maybe try to analyze them and review them and understand what makes them so good. And yeah, I think we could all learn something from that. So that's what I was trying to do here, provide a little bit of insight. Thanks for watching. If you got this far into the video, do all the things, like, subscribe, helps me out, comment, tell me what you liked, what you didn't like, what you want to see more of, what you don't want to see more of. And yeah, thanks for watching. Peace. Bye.